I have my notes here, so I wouldn't forget the respect part that I started with the table topics. I didn't start by acknowledging the table topic master, but that's something I'm learning and reminding myself. Um, Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Today, I want to talk about something that we use often and without even thinking about it: social media. And the statement that I want to put forward is simple: social media is not really social after all. Let me, for a moment, take you back to our childhood. I think it's safe to say, at our age group, what we did in our childhood was mostly outdoors. There was a lot of playing, arguing, negotiating, maybe some crying, a lot of laughter. Even when we brought the activity indoors, it involved games or activities that required us to interact with other people, neighbors, friends, family. Um, we learned to take turns, a lot of collaboration, how to deal with losing games and opportunities, but most of all, we enjoyed winning. Those experiences didn't just entertain us, but also build a lot of our social skills that we took to college and to work. Now, compare that to today with the rise of technology and especially social media. We spend more time looking at screens than at people. And this is across age groups that I've seen. I do that too. I'm sure many of us have had the moment where we paused and asked ourselves, am I spending too much time on my phone? How is it impacting my sleep? What am I consuming so much content? And is it truly something that is enriching my life? Because sometimes you feel like you don't remember whatever you've been looking at. And there are deeper questions too, which are like, am I only seeing one side of the story, one side of what's happening around in our world? And the danger of always being stuck in an echo chamber just because of the way it is designed. And a lot of times we realize that it is the same ideas that are being reinforced, and our curiosity is quietly fading away. Now, here's the thing: that's not entirely our fault. This is by design, and I know most of you us have suspected that and spoken about it. We've also read articles and heard discussions about these platforms intentionally building us to keep us engaged. But recently, I came across a research that helped me understand and process this much more deeply for me to be able to talk to, especially my children. So, why does social media feel so addictive? Interestingly, again, going back to the flashback, we've got to go back to the 1980s and 90s. The research says a lot of the learning is from video slot machines. I'm not a big gambler, but I've seen that on TV. I've heard people talk about it. These machines were designed for continuous play with very comfortable ergonomic seating, endless gameplay, and no real natural stopping point. Studies have shown that people spend 24 to 48 hours on those machines, and a lot of times they come with a lot of planning by wearing adult diapers, and that's the extent to which they take that. Now, psychiatrists and psychologists who used to treat conditions that come in from addiction to even social media are now working for the large social media companies. I'm sure you're not surprised with that, right? So they've gone from treating this to improving adoption and engagement. I'm using air quotes here for folks' sake. So now think about that level of immersion, right? The same psychology is what powers social media today. Research identifies four key features that make platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts so compelling. The first one is solitude. I mean, solitude is great when we seek it for a specific purpose, but human beings are social creatures. We crave connections. Social media gives the illusion of being connected, but in reality, what often happens is we sit alone with our device, scrolling through curated glimpses of other people's lives. We are connected, but we're actually isolated. This is not social interaction, it is solitude disguised as connection. Second is bottomlessness. Every day we generate so much of content that human beings have not done that in the past 200 years. That's the amount of content we create. And what that means is you keep scrolling, there's always more. There's no natural stopping point, something that tells you that you've had enough. You're searching, but you're searching in a bottomless pit. The third is speed. Again, flashback, go back to the movies from the 60s, 70s, even 90s. If you notice that there's a slower pace, there's a longer scenes, gradual storytelling. Now look at what's happening with our movies right now, especially the action movies. Fast cuts, quick transitions, instant gratification. And if you shrink that further to what's going on with social media, 10 seconds of a video and then you swipe the next one and the next one. Your brain is constantly stimulated by rapid shifts in attention. And because of that speed, you actually stay engaged longer than you actually intended to. Now, the fourth of the four that I mentioned is the most powerful feature is you don't get what you're looking for every time. So just pay attention next time. You don't get it. But occasionally you find something interesting, something funny, something valuable. That unpredictability is what hooks you. So you start with one video, then another, and you keep going down that rabbit hole. And at some point, you may even forget what you originally came in for. And that's exactly how it's designed. And it will never fully satisfy you, but to keep giving you just enough to stay on. But just step back and look at all the features like solitude, bottomlessness, speed, and intermittent rewards. You begin to see a pattern. This is not accidental. This is engineered engagement. So where does that leave us? I'm not saying social media is entirely bad. It connects people across the world. It educates, it entertains. I work in that space sometimes. We must recognize what it is and what it isn't. It is not a substitute for human interaction or human connection. It does not replace meaningful connections that we're looking for. It's certainly not social in the way we once understood it. So next time you pick up your phone, pause and ask yourself, am I connecting or just consuming? Am I engaging or just scrolling? Because real connection, the ones that build relationships, understanding and empathy still happens the old fashioned way. Face to face, conversation to conversation, human to human, Toastmaster to Toastmaster. And that's why I leave you with this thought. Social media may connect us digitally, but if you're not careful, it can disconnect us socially.